The last week, I've been really working hard and trying designating about 30 minutes to an hour in the raised bed garden, as well as the cut flower gardens in rows, to help prepare, essentially putting the garden to rest for the fall, winter, and to prepare it for the spring and summer planting. So lots of weed pulling primarily, and then once the weeds have been pulled, I like to add a layer of compost to the bed now in the fall. And then I have not yet, as you can see, but I am then going to cover them with landscape fabric this year to help suppress the weeds, but then I'll pull them up when I'm ready to plant, and I'll just recycle them, use them again from years to come. But my pile of weeds has gotten bigger. I'm a little sore, a little tired, but I wanted to show you guys what the garden space looks like now. Let's take a look. The garden cleanup has started. Once you see the garden, it won't even look like I've done anything at all. But this is where I am at so far, cleaning out the garden. I pulled, and I actually started doing it last year. I pulled out a lot of my squashes, pumpkins, melons, those types of things, instead of leaving them to compost like I used to do, because I just noticed the pest pressure is a lot less if you pull your plants. But I cut them at the soil level so the roots can decompose in the soil. So in the 10-day forecast, knock on wood, there's no frost yet here in North Texas. Sweet potatoes going to take a look at here in a minute. That's what these vines are here. Tomatillos in the back, I'll leave them. I'm not going to mess with this bed today. I'm going to leave those as well till the first frost, but then once it comes, I'll get the weeds, and then I'm going to cover with a tarp. Jalapeno plant, and these are peppers and eggplants. Going to leave that as well. That's an eggplant. I will leave that for now as well. This bed, I'm honestly just going to cover it. The Bermuda grass is just, it's insane. It's just taken over this whole entire bed. What really needs to happen is the soil, the dirt needs to be removed, and a new layer of like landscaping fabric or something needs to get put down to suppress the weeds. Or really just the Bermuda grass, because it is absolutely taken over this 5x5 as well as this half. I'll have to eventually manage this some way, so I'm just not even gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna solarize, cover up this Bermuda grass, and honestly I doubt I'll even uncover this bed for next year as well. I'll just have to see what it looks like in the spring. This 4x10 is gonna be my production bed for the fall, winter. Half of it you can already see. I've planted little broccoli starts. That's actually a leftover kale from, I planted it last year, and that was a volunteered turnip. And then I have 2 pepper plants I'll leave for now as well. I'm gonna clean out the rest of the weeds, add some compost, and this will be my carrots, spinach, lettuce, and kale. We'll just kind of fill up the second half of this bed, and just so I can have some fresh greens for the fall, winter. Next is my floret celosia. It's eventually gonna have to come out. I'm sure I'll have floret celosia here next year as well, because as you can see, it is going to seed, and there's those little black dots. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, and they are just dropping like crazy. That over there is actually Swiss chard as well from last year. So that 2x6 and the one behind it, it just needs to be cleaned and covered. Same with this back wall along the fence. That's where I planted some more celosia because I just had leftover. Let's see what else. Still have a floret zinnia that I started like in March, I think, something like that. But this will eventually come out as well. Just haven't had the heart to yet. 5x5, just clean up, cover as well. Still have some beautiful herbs This is my sage, will be great and perfect for Thanksgiving. Some basil right beside it. This is just an Italian basil, and then a holy basil is behind it. And check it out, my tomatoes are making a comeback, even though they look crazy. I even have a little tomato over there, some more tiny ones over here. Hopefully we'll get some ripe fruit before the frost. We just have the hardest time in July, August in Texas with tomatoes because it just gets so hot. It's triple digits, so you know, above like 90 something, the blossoms just start to drop, so we don't see tomatoes. This 2x6 and this 2x6 had my okra. I just gave it to the cow, but they will get cleaned up as well and tarped. And then, oh yeah, I have one more tomato plant over here I see is making a comeback. Same with this 5x5. It just needs to be significantly, I just let these go. They didn't have anything in them at the end of the year, so there's no sense continuing to weed them. This was a big slicer. I can't remember what the name was. I do see blossoms, but I don't think I see any fruit, so I'm not sure I will get any fruit from this tomato plant before the first frost. But yeah, lots to be done, but some progress is starting. Gotta clean up the garden and get ready for winter. I wish y'all could have seen the before. This was just a grassy mess that I cleaned out, added some compost. Still have some summer flowers, cosmos and basil. Just haven't had the heart yet to pull this out, but we'll hear when we get our first frost. And see, there's a honeybee. You see? I'm trying to get their last minute food, but then obviously that will be covered with compost as well. And this is going to be, I don't know how many feet this is, I'm not very good with feet, but this will be my Cool Hardy annual long row. Essentially, I think it's about, well, maybe a little bit over 3 feet wide, but I have status already, just a little bit of snapdragons. This is my first year growing like Cold Hardy annuals, and gonna try hoops and keeping them alive. So we'll see. But this was just a big weedy mess, so again, just added compost. Those are what I had left of some daffodils bulbs that I got from Johnny Seeds. I just put 2 bags here because I'm gonna have hoops going up here, but then, I mean, that's essentially kind of like a sandbag in a way, but there'll be daffodils because I don't have to cover up the daffodils. But I just planted anemones, just a small amount. I only bought 20 corms of anemones and ranunculus because I'm just trying them out this year for the first time. So I actually put like 15 in the ground, and then I have 5 in grow bags. Just trying different things out this year because I do have a greenhouse, so I'm gonna have my dahlias in there, and then, you know, just move the ranunculus and anemones in as needed. But like today, high is 74. I think it's November 19th, so gorgeous day today. But yeah, lots of work being done in the fall. I know all my flower farming friends know that feeling. If I can do it, so can you. Until next time, bye friends.